Good morning. Good morning. I'm Evidential Medium Stacy Niedenthal, and this is Tuesday Talks at 10:30. This is a time where we just sit together and we talk about things that have been placed on my heart. Um, you know, sometimes I get on a roll with things, and I think today's going to be one of those days. Let me just move this a little bit. Illinois. Hello, Illinois. I see Bel Air, Maryland. I see all different people that I know. Good morning. Shippensburg. Hello, Shippensburg. But like I said, this is not a live angel card reading. This is not a live mediumship reading. This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30, where we just sit and chat for about an hour about things that have been placed on my heart. As you know, I'm an evidential medium, spiritual healer, child of God. I have the ability to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. Guys, I am not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God and spirit and angels all come together and offer a message of healing to you. Most people who come to me are either at a crossroads looking for direction or they want to connect with someone on the other side. Today is one of those directional healing meetings of Tuesday Talks at 10:30. I do have some events that are coming up. So the 26th and the 27th, I will be in Bel Air, Maryland. I have a few privates that are available, but the groups are sold out. September 21st, here at Hip Gypsy Emporium, is our final Fall Fest, where we'll have food trucks and vendors and music. September 20th, the 26th and 27th, that was last month. Sorry. September 23rd and 24th. Denise is probably thinking, what? Is Bel Air, Maryland. October 17th through the 19th, we are going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for a women's retreat. It's not just a grief retreat. It's finding deeper meaning within yourself. We're going to talk about how to heal. We're going to talk about energies, full moon release. I've got someone coming in. Karen Pizza is going to do a full moon release meditation with Reiki and offer healing that way. We have downtime, so you can go visit Pigeon Forge, as we're less than a mile away from it. We still have like 10 spaces available. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the group afterwards. October 28th, I'll be at Kismet Epiphany. We are starting a new group for healers. Help heal yourselves or ourselves, where we're putting together kind of an accountability group to help talk to each other. I do have some classes that are coming up. We're going to be doing some vision board things and manifestation and all great things for 2025. I know it's still 2024, but I'm already looking at 2025. If you are interested in hosting a group or having a private reading, go to my website, Connecting to Spirit with Stacy, and go in there under book an appointment. I do Zoom readings, so you would go under private and in PA and put Zoom reading. So, kind of muddled through that a little bit. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today I have a lot to talk about. 3 weeks ago, I was in upstate New York, and talking about, let me just turn this off, hold on. And I was being taught by Tony Stockwell, enhancing my mediumship ability. Then the following weekend we had Karma Fest here, group of healers getting together, doing lectures, helping you to grow. And then this past weekend I was in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, with John Holland and Joe Shield, learning about signs and signals and dreams and different things like that. So guess who's amped up from the past 3 weekends of being engulfed in, it just totally immersed in healing and spirituality? This girl. I'm so amped. It's almost like I feel like I'm levitating sometimes with the vibration that is around me. So I met so many great people over the past couple weeks, those that were on their spiritual journey or trying to find their spiritual journey or wanting to heal, that I felt drawn to talk about these. So this weekend, and I'm not going to teach you about signs, but we're going to talk about them. So this weekend, John Holland and Joe Shield talked about signs and signals and dreams, and it was very eye-opening because, you can get all these books that say that are books on dreams and books on signs, but more importantly, it's what do these things mean to you? When you see a feather, what does it mean to you? What instantly comes to mind? If you're talking to someone and you see a carriage, what does that mean to you? Oh my gosh, someone, maybe a baby's coming in, or maybe they're birthing a new thought of something. It's looking deep inside of yourself, and when you see a sign or when something flashes in your mind, what does it mean to you? So, the last day of our class was Saturday. And like I said, it was very eye-opening when we're talking about signs and symbols and dreams. And I was in a hotel, and I decided to walk across the street to get something to eat and bring it back to my hotel room, just to kind of, come down a little bit. And I walked outside, and there was a double rainbow. And I took pictures of it, and I posted a video, but none of that really said how it, showed how it felt or how it looked. Now keep in mind, it was 7:15 at night, so it was getting dark. It was raining a little bit. It was foggy. But this rainbow, this double rainbow, seemed to be vibrating and glowing. It felt like it was going, right? It just felt like it was moving, and it just, touched me so deeply. People from the hotel were coming out and taking pictures of it. And a rainbow in itself is beautiful, and it always touches my heart. But when it's a double rainbow, to me, it's just magnificent. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's like a freak of nature. Even though I know double rainbows are very common, I don't see them very often. So I was thinking, as I'm taking this video, and I am taking pictures of it, like, what's the meaning of the rainbow? And rainbows symbolize hope and happiness, the end of the storm. In order for there to be a rainbow, there has to be a storm. In the Bible, it talks about God saying everything is going to be okay. It's a symbol of you've weathered the storm, keep on going. The double rainbow is said to symbolize good fortune and happiness, spirituality. It means you're on the right path. It means hope and love and happiness. It's a message from a deceased loved one, a guardian angel, a guide, God, the universe, however you want to look at it. But when you see the rainbow, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Like, that's where the message is. What does it remind you of? How does it make you feel? What are the smells around you? What does that spark in your memory? It's a significance of a spiritual journey and of new beginnings, right? Then, hang with me. Like I said, I got a lot to talk about. Then when I was on my drive home from New Jersey, this box truck came up, beside me and pulled in front of me. Now I was talking to my daughter on the phone, hands-free, wasn't like this. And on the back of this truck, the back of the pull-down door was dirty, but someone took the time to like use their fingers and they put little eyes in it with these eyebrows going down. And it said, what did it say? It said, hold on, look up Matthew 16:23. I was driving, so I wasn't able to take a picture of it to like place this on Facebook. But I said to my daughter, oh my gosh, I just had this class on signs and symbols and dreams. And literally this truck, he didn't cut me off or anything, but he pulls in front of me with a sign on the back of his truck that said, with eyeballs, saying, look up Matthew 16:23. So my daughter looked it up and she read it to me. I'm going to read it to you. But he turned and he said to Peter, get behind me, Satan, you are a hindrance of time, for you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but the things of man. Okay? And then it explained the meaning, that this verse can be taken to mean that people can become a hindrance to God when they are more concerned with their own preference than the things that honor God, that we actively get in the way. So I had this to think about. Now, more signs. When I was driving to class, I was listening to some different podcasts, and one of them was James Van Praagh, and he was talking about manifestations and intentions. So I listened to that and I'm like, okay, I get it. And when I was listening to this, it kind of sunk in a little bit to me about, manifesting and what I want and what I want to show and what I want to give to the world. Well, after his podcast, instantly, a Mel Robbins podcast came on, and guess what it was about? Manifestations. Manifesting and intentions. And then the next one was, what is your why for manifesting? So that got me to thinking, right? So I've got all these signs going to a class on signs and symbols. So I told you all of this to kind of feed into a struggle that I've been having the last couple days, weeks, months, years. I don't know how you want to say it. I believe that my path, my passion, my calling is to help as many people heal as possible. To let them know, right, that they are loved and that they are not alone. To show them the continuity of life, that death is only a stage in this life for the new life. All right? So, in the past few weeks, I've been told by several friends and family members, you can't heal the world. You can't help everyone. And my answer was always like, well, why not? If not me, who? And I know my friends and family are just saying this to help me, because sometimes I get, on this whirlwind that I want to help this person and I want to do this for this person. And I wish they could just see this. And if I could just speak to them and I send them healing or pray for them or pray with them. So when I think about, if not me, who? And I understand there is a big world around us. I understand that. And I understand that this task is a lot, but it just feels like I've got to touch as many people as possible and let them know they're not alone. And I feel like if I touch one person and I help them, then they in turn will touch 2 or 3 people. And those 2 or 3 people will help 2 or 3 people, and so on and so on. Depending on how old you are, there was the old Breck commercial, the shampoo commercial. I told a person, and they told 2 people, and they told 2 people, and so on and so on and so on. Death is just a stage of life. Grief is just a part of life. But we heal together when we come together. So, when I put into action the one let's go here. When I put into action the aha moment I got from manifesting, and that maybe sometimes I'm manifesting incorrectly. I do a vision board. I look at what I want, and here's what I'm envisioning, and here's how I want it to turn out, and how I want it to feel, and what I want people to feel and think and say. But she brought up this point that the things that are constantly in your mind are actually the things that you're manifesting. So these could actually be the negative thoughts about it. Well, what if I can't afford it? What if it doesn't happen? Well, what do I do with this? What's my plan B? So if that's what's consciously in your mind, that's actually what you're manifesting. Like big light bulb went on. And it's training your mind to say, well, what if I can't? To say, here's what I'm seeing that I can do. So that you're training your mind to actually manifest what your vision is. It's shutting off the what if I can'ts and saying, here's what I'm going to do instead. Aha, right? And then the other podcast that she was talking about is, what are your reasons why? So, okay. So if I say to you, I want to heal the world. I want to help heal the world. Heal each and every person. Then you would say, why? So I thought about that. And I thought about our world has gotten so strange lately in the past few years. And then I wanted to put some statistics in this. Okay? 10% of the 21 million people in the U.S. over the age of 18 are dealing with depression. An additional 6.2% have severe anxiety disorder. 19.1% have an anxiety disorder. And that's a lot of people. That's over 4 million people dealing with that. 70% of all adults have had a traumatic event at least one time in their life. That's almost 15 million people. 6 out of 100 people will deal with or have dealt with PTSD. 8% of those people are age 13 to 18. All right? More than 57% of people, or over 11 million, almost 12 million Americans, reported experiencing some major loss within the last 3 years. Okay? But why? So what's my why behind the reason when I'm looking at these statistics, right? My why is, now of those numbers of people, there are only approximately 107,000 certified licensed therapists in the world. So you can see why it's difficult sometimes to get an appointment, to get help. So it's my turn. I'm not a licensed therapist at all, but I've been there. And if I tell my story of the vulnerabilities and the things that I went through, maybe someone will go, oh, she figured it out. Maybe I can figure it out. All right? So we can't say that we're therapists, but we can say that we're human and that we're loving friends with experiences. We can say, I have ears and a heart to listen, and arms to hug you, and a shoulder to cry on. But why? See, we do the 4 whys, but why? When I think of people suffering to the point that they question whether they need to be on this earth anymore, it breaks my heart. Especially when they are 13 to 18 years old. And not that I am discounting, anyone older, but children questioning, should I be on this earth? It breaks my heart that I wasn't able to maybe say something or do something, or someone else wasn't able to. And I understand that we can't help everyone, but we can try to help as many people as possible. And then it breaks my heart. It just totally takes the wind out of my sails for the family members who have suffered loss from their friends and family who have chosen no longer to be here because of anxiety and depression, and there not being enough help out there. So why not us? Why not start with us? Now, like I said, I know that we can't always change the results, because ultimately you have the choice to make your own decisions. But if we can show the world one person at a time, you matter, we love you, it's going to be okay, I'm here to listen, what a difference would that make? But why? Because I've been there. I've suffered through depression and anxiety disorder. I have friends of mine who have suffered through it. I have suffered in grief and not known like where to turn when my world goes upside down. And then I think to myself, that last but why now? Because I feel like the world needs a big Band-Aid. I feel like we are lost in our own whirlwind and of things to do and the things that are happening, whether it's, arguments with family and friends, or the negativity that's in the world, lack of a job, or the price of things, families separating, and children in multiple different homes, and, the rate of crime. And that's my but why now? If not now, when? Are you with me? I do Tuesday talks at 10:30 every Tuesday morning to touch at least one person who's listening to this. Maybe one person will listen to this and share it with someone else. When I listened to the one Mel Robbins podcast, and Denise turned me on to Mel Robbins several years ago, and I listened to her, a little bit. But the past couple weeks, the titles she's talked about have really touched my heart. And then when I went to Omega, and I could just feel the love at that campus, and everyone healing, and the healing that was going on, and then Karma Fest here, and the healing that was going on, and then going for a class on signs, signals, and dreams, healing was taking place. You could feel it. And then I saw the rainbow. And then I saw the sign coming home. Get out of your own way. Get out of God's way. Let God show you your path. Don't let the monkey mind go, I can't do that. What will people say? How will people feel? What will my family think about me? Right? I do the Tuesday talks to hopefully open up something within you that says, I matter. Oh my God, she's talking to me. Okay? The smallest gesture can help people. And I learned this little trick from Mel Robbins, because she'll say, I'll give you 4 reasons. I'll give you 5 things that you can do. All right? Here are 10 things that you can do to show the world, to show people you're human, and you care, and you're compassionate, and you have love. Right? Number 1, costs nothing to do this. Smile at others and make eye contact. We've lost communication. We text. Our face is in our phone. When you're walking somewhere, put the frickin' phone away. Look at people. Good morning. How you doing? Have a good day. It helps heal. It helps heal a wound. You're putting that Band-Aid on. Number 2, random acts of kindness. Big or small, doesn't matter. It can range from holding the door for someone to buying their lunch. It helps heal a wound. It helps them to be seen. Number 3, okay? Randomly send a text to someone. Thinking of you. How you doing? If I'm, doing something during the day, and Denise can attest to this, and I think of her, I'll send her a text. How you doing? Last night before I went to bed and I was doing all this, I was thinking about her. How you doing? Or I'll send a text. I have a friend of mine that lives in Philadelphia, thinking of you. I'll send my kids random text. You are beautiful and I am so proud of you and I love you so much. I send random text to my grandkids. Love ya. Thinking of ya. It costs you nothing and it takes 3 minutes. And then you'll get a text back, and if you don't, you know what? Whenever they see it, they'll be like, oh, I really needed to see this text at this particular moment. It helps heal a wound. Number 4, and I started doing this with my husband a long time ago. I appreciate you. You know, when he drives me to a class, or he drives me out west, or he goes with me to a reading, I'll say to him, thank you for going with me. I really appreciate you. And I look him in the eyes when I'm saying it. Maybe it helps heal a wound for him that maybe he didn't feel appreciated. I don't know. It doesn't matter if I know what it's healing. All I'm saying to him is, I appreciate you. You are important to me. Help heal a wound. Number 5, be kind. How easy is that? You can be kind by smiling and making eye contact. Random act of kindness. Saying I appreciate you. But be kind. Check in with your attitude. And I know I don't always have the best attitude. My attitude's in my eyes. I'm not a good morning person. 10 o'clock in the morning, I have a 10 o'clock rule. If you want an answer other than no, ask me after 10 o'clock because my brain just isn't functioning. Why do you think I do Tuesday Talks at 10:30? Gives me a chance to wake up. I am a slow waker-upper, guys. But I'm up late at night, you know. Number 6, check in on friends and family. Pop-ins. I remember when I was a kid and we'd be driving somewhere, you know, we would just pop in on cousins or aunts and uncles or friends. We'd just pop in. We'd just show up at the door. Hey, we were thinking about you. We thought we would stop in. Sometimes we would call first, but usually, nope. You just pop in. You know, you're checking in on friends. Check in with a text. Check in with a phone call. You know, send them something. You know, sometimes when I'm on the big A, and you know that, the buying mecca, and I see something and I think about someone, I buy it and I send it to them. You know, or if I'm out and about and I see something and I think about someone, I'm like, I'm supposed to get this for them. You know, I am so in love with books, it's not even funny. If you need a list of good books to read, message me. I'll send you. What's your topic? You know, and it's not, I don't do like the trilogies or things like that. I'm doing self-help. I'm doing aha moments. I just finished reading last night how to heal stress in your life. When I went to Omega, I bought, I think I bought 18 books. Now this is what, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. I've already read 3 of them, 3 of them. Okay, the ones that I've read, is talking about ascension and your ascended masters, your ancestors that have gone before you and how to connect with them. The one about stress and trauma. And then I read one on past lives. And last night I started reading meditations. I know it sounds weird. You read meditations. Reading meditations to heal traumas. Because I feel like if I read these meditations, something's going to click with me, something that I can talk to you about. Or if I'm guiding you in a meditation, like we'll be doing meditations at the women's retreat, as I am being guided with it, something's going to click in my mind that will help. But I read, I'm like, I have so many books, but I love books. Okay? Number 7. So checking in with family. I got off, that helps heal wounds. Okay? Number 7. Listen more when a friend is talking to you and talk less. Listen. Listen. And I have trained myself, is a good way to say it. Instead of saying to my friend, oh, I know how you feel, blah, 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 blah. Or when that happened to me, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm turning the conversation from them to me. So what I might say to them is, how do you feel about that? Okay. And what direction do you want to go in? Okay. How can I help? Okay. If someone outrightly says to me, how did you get through that? Different course of information. Then I will say, I did this, I did this, I did this. Maybe I might say, have you tried journaling? Well, why would I try journaling? Well, let me tell you about journaling. You know what I mean? Take that, the question then, as them wanting more information. But do not turn it around to make it about you. I remember one time I said something, I think it was to my husband. I'm not sure. It was a family member about this devastating thing that happened to me. And I was talking to them. And I'm usually not very open and vulnerable to just talk to anybody about things, but I'm learning. And the person looked me square in the eye and said, well, now you know how I feel. And I thought, seriously, if you know me, I thought, F you. Your feelings and my feelings are two different things. I am trusting you to have ears to listen and let me get it all out. There are literally times I will say to my husband, look, I got to get something out of my head. And he's really good at this. I got to get something out of my head. I do not want you to speak during it. I don't want you to think of how you can fix it. I just need to get it out of my head. It's almost like fifth stepping in AA. And he goes, okay, and he'll sit down and he'll listen. He'll turn the TV off, put it on pause, put his phone down, laser focused. And the reason why I say I don't want you to speak, let me just get it out. Because I may not be looking for a solution. I may just need to get it out of my head. And I will say it all. And here he is, with my suitcase that I've just unpacked to him. And he's really good at saying, do you need me to fix this? No. I just needed to say it. Do you want my opinion? Sometimes it's yes. Sometimes it's like, no, I need to figure this out myself. What do you want me to do with all that? I just needed you to know what was going on inside of me. There's a saying he would say, and I think he got this from AA, sometimes you need to take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth. And just be present for that friend. So, number 7 is listen more than speak. Right? I have a friend of mine who was diagnosed with cancer a while ago. And there were these different courses of treatment and these different things that she could do. And she's very good at, doing research on things. And so much of my body wanted to say, well, I would do this. But I listened and I said, what are you going to do? Well, I think I'm going to do this, 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 and this. How does that feel? Feels pretty good. I think this is the right decision. Then I support you 100%. How can I help? And then when she had her appointment with her doctor and she messaged me, this was what my decision was. Instead of me saying, great, I said, how does that feel with you now that you've made this decision? She's like, it feels like the right thing. Great. I support you 100%. How can I help? She's like, just be there to be a sounding board every once in a while. Absolutely. But I have to pause. And I've talked about this before with you guys, that I learned a long time ago that not everybody who comes to you with a situation wants you to solve the problem. So I learned a trick for myself. When someone is talking to me, I will literally sit with my hands on my mouth and I wait for them to finish speaking, because I used to listen to respond. And now I have learned I need to listen to listen. So they're telling me something. I'm sitting like this. What are you thinking about doing? And how does that feel? How can I help? It lets the person know that who you're speaking to, that you're freaking listening to them. Turn the phone off, put it to the side, turn the TV off, laser focus on them. Put your hand on your mouth and listen. And when you say, how can I help? If they say, what are your thoughts? I pause and I will say to them, depending on the situation, doesn't matter what my thoughts are. If this feels right for you, and you know this is the right decision, I'm here to support you. No, what do you think? I think you're making the right decisions. Well, what would you do? I've never been in that situation. It's hard for me to say. Okay? Active listening helps heal wounds, because guess what? For the longest time, and still from time to time, I don't feel like I'm heard when I'm in a conversation. People talk over me, or they ignore me. It's like a jump rope. I have to jump in to say something. Or I'll be talking about something and someone changes the subject. And if you know me, I get obnoxious and I'll say, oh, good, you start a conversation because I was finished with mine. Oh, no, what did you want? No, it's not important anymore. To let the other person know, you just cut me off. You just left me know that you didn't really give a crap about what I was saying, and that you just ignored what I said. And maybe it will teach them that the next time they're speaking to someone, they don't cut them off. So active listening heals wounds. Maybe you don't feel like your parents or your siblings heard you. Maybe you didn't feel seen in school. Maybe you feel walked over at work. Maybe you have a controlling spouse, or a spouse that doesn't really listen. Turn it around, and instead of saying, poor me, be the person that you want the other person to be. There was a movie out years ago. Oh God, what was it called? Fire Hall, Fire Siren, with Kirk Cameron in it, where he worked through this book because he and his wife were going to be, they wanted to get a divorce, but he was given this book of these things to do for like 30 days. And it changed the relationship. So if you become the listener, the active listener, the healer, the things that you need, people around you will do the same thing. And those who do not, maybe they're not part of your tribe. So that's 7. Number 8, when you love from the inside out, it shows. You have a different vibration. You glow. I remember years ago when I was talking about something with one of my clients, and I had a ride along with me. After we got finished, she was like, I want what you guys have. And I'm like, what? Oh, the way you were talking about this or this. And we were talking about faith. I want that. I'm like, well, you can have it. Let's talk about it. Right? So when you live from the inside out, heart, the things that you do in love. Others will see it, and it will reciprocate to you. That heals wounds. That's 9. That's 8. Number 9. This is a pet peeve with me. Build people up. Do not tear them down. Speak positive words into their energy. And if you don't understand, ask. I don't understand where you're coming from. Instead of going, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. because you don't understand it. Okay? It heals a wound. All these 10 things help heal wounds. Number 10, speak with insight and wisdom. Right? Speak with insight and wisdom. When you're speaking with someone about a new project that you want to do, think about the adventures. Think about what it takes to get to this. You know, when I talk to my kids about certain things, if they call me and there's a problem, I will say to them, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And they know without a doubt, no matter what, we're going to figure it out. I have more insight and more wisdom in certain situations than they have, but they are always teaching me their wisdom and insight. So speak in love, in wisdom, in insight. We'll figure it out. Instead of going, oh, you're screwed. I get annoyed with social media sometimes when people say, FML. I give up. Right? Why would you say that? Why would you put that into your energy? FML. Why would you say that? How about saying free my life? Free my thought patterns. Maybe that's the new FML. Faith in my life. Okay? So those are 10 things that you can do that cost you nothing, but comes from the heart center. All right? And it will, when you start to do these things, it will change the world around you. Your circle of influence will notice a change within you. And don't be the person that says, well, I'm trying to change. Have you noticed? No. You just took back everything that you've done. Because now you want me to say, yay, you. Look at that big girl. Look how good she's doing. No. Be humble about it. We can all learn every single day. Right? So, now remember. Told you I had a lot to say today. Now remember I told you about the rainbow and the verse this weekend, right? And listening to those podcasts. I've been asking for signs if I'm on the right path. I've been asking for visions or a visionary or, gosh, are my friends and family right? Can I not help heal the world? Is that too big of a task? And I get this double rainbow. Hope, love, happiness, spiritual path. Keep on going. God's saying it's gonna be okay. I have hope for the world and for future generations. I do not want to be that person that says, oh my God, the generation today, they're going to be taking care of me when I'm old. I just put that negative energy surrounding that generation. Instead, I want to lift the new generation up and say, I look forward to the new ideas in love and light and in wisdom. And I know they will figure it out. Is it scary? Yes. And if I don't understand or agree with another generation's thought process, like my kids or my grandkids, I ask questions so that I have a better understanding. And if I don't agree with it, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are wrong if it's their opinion. Now, if they're trying to talk me into how to steal a car, we're going to have a conversation. But if they're talking to me about an opportunity that they see or a new vision in the world, or I'm going to say, explain that to me. And I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to use Mel Robbins, but why? And listen. But why? And listen. But why? And listen. But why now? Okay. Because it makes them go deeper into what their real reason is. It comes from the heart. Like I literally sometimes feel like my heart and my stomach, like I feel like I'm being pulled towards something. All right. I asked for questions. I already said that. But you have this understanding and this love. And granted, these are my kids and my grandkids. But I've even put into practice doing this with other people. Now, the Mel Robbins thing is new, so I'm going to put that into my course of questions. Because I would always say, help me to understand. How does that feel? How do you feel about that? How can I help? Okay. I try to greet and speak to people from a place of love. Sometimes I need to put boundaries up around myself. Okay? Because I have learned that not all people have the best intentions for me. Uh-oh. What happened? There we go. I went away for a second. All right? So I have to put these boundaries up. It doesn't mean I'm never going to speak to this person again in most cases. I'm going to send them prayers of healing. I'm going to be cordial, but I may not be as vulnerable with them because sometimes you have to look at what's best for you. Okay? But still praying and keeping them in your thought process. So, I get in my own way sometimes. I really do. I have all these projects that I'm working on and all these things that just seem to be coming about that I've been manifesting for so long, and like all of a sudden they're right here. I got the artwork for the Oracle card deck that I've been working on for a couple I guess maybe 2 years. I got the final artwork, so now I've got to like finish up the words. I've got it all, but it's just like going back and now looking at the pictures and seeing if they meet each other. I've got this women's retreat that's coming up in October that I'm visualizing women coming together and the healing and putting this bubble around this. I have books that I'm working on. I have Tuesday Talks. I have another really cool thing that's coming up soon that I'll tell you about later. Not later today, but later. I go to Bel Air, Maryland and do readings there. But I also have my life here in the shop. But then I also have my husband, my kids, and my grandkids. So I have all this stuff. And I feel like that's why a lot of people say to me, you can't heal everyone. Because they're looking out for all the things that they see all these projects that I have that I'm doing. But I enjoy those things because I feel like one of those projects is going to touch someone's heart so much that they're going to go, oh, I get this. I'm important. I can help somebody else. So happiness is our goal, right? Our days are numbered. Try to be happy. And it's not always easy to be happy. But on the days that you're not happy, think about something that made you happy. Before we did an exercise in class this weekend, we did a meditation. But before the meditation, we were told to put our hands on the heart and go to a very intimate place in your heart of love where you felt safe, where you felt important. Go to that place of love. And it was very easy for me where I went. And then we did the meditation so that and you can feel it. You can feel like the warmth or the vibration or the tinglings, or you can see it in your mind what that moment in time was. And then we did the meditation that we brought light in, but it was heart-centered. It was amazing. All right? So, work to be happy. Practice being happy. If you are not happy, there needs to be a change in something. Maybe in a job, maybe in a relationship or a friendship. Maybe you're doing too many things and you're too stressed. Maybe you're too hard on yourself. But if you can't change it, reach out for help of others. Maybe your circle needs to be smaller. Do you have wise, influential people in your circle that you respect? They're the ones you go to. Hey, I'm struggling. I need some help. Be vulnerable enough to ask. I'm not happy. I don't know why I'm not happy. I feel alone. And I don't know why I'm alone. Because I'm not really alone. I've got my family and my friends and I have this. But why do you feel alone? Well, because this, and this. But why? This, and this. But why? This, and this. But why now? Because I just turned 60. And although I know my life is not over, I'm more than halfway through it. And I have so many more things that I want to accomplish that it's important to me right now. And I feel like I'm the only one that sees it sometimes because everybody has blinders on. And that very wise person may say to you, I see you. I feel it. It's obvious about you that this is what you want to do. How can I help? Right? So, when the verse sign came up, it validated to me to get out of my own way. I give things to God, I take them back. I ask God to show me a path, I change the path. Trust in your own intuition. Trust in consciousness. Trust God. Trust the universe, however you want to look at consciousness, creator. Trust this. Be grateful for everything, even the hard lessons, right? Even the hard lessons. Because without the hard lessons, you wouldn't be the person you are today. You survived it. You figured it out. You got wiser. You have wisdom from that. You know that you can say, not doing that again. Okay? If you don't know where to start in changing the world, go back to Evidential Medium, Stacey Niedenthal, 10 things that you can do. And do them. Smile at someone today. Do a random act of kindness. Send a text thinking of you. Saying I appreciate you. Being kind. Checking in on friends. Speak from the inside out. Build people up instead of tearing them down. Speak with insight and wisdom and love. And just watch how things change around you. Above all, be grateful for all your experiences and all your adventures. My first marriage, not so great, but gave me 2 beautiful children. Put me at the place that I needed to be to meet the man of my dreams, Mr. Niedenthal, who gave me another beautiful child. Even though I said I was never getting married, never buying another house, or ever having more children. Because of his heart center and his love and the way that I trusted him, we got married, we bought a house, and we had another child. All in like a year. Because I could trust him and his wisdom and the faith that was in him. It took me a little while because I compared him to an old relationship. I was waiting for him to turn into an asshole, quite honestly. I would only let him in so far, and then I would back away. I don't want a hot tin roof. What did he say? What's the reason behind that? What does he want? But a good friend of mine said, let your guard down. Here's someone who accepts you for who you are and lets you be who you are. Why are you looking for the problems? Was I then trying to manifest the problems? Maybe. But because she said that to me, I thought, you know what? She's right. I need to be vulnerable. I need to trust this person. October 1st, 30 years with the man of my dreams. And you have, a lot of you have met him, He definitely is my other rib, or I'm his other rib. Okay? So I'm grateful for the experiences that I had, even though some of them were traumatic, because oh, shoot. Am I losing signal? Okay. Are you with me? Hold on. There we go. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. But it brought me to this point in time where instead of me years ago wanting to hide from the world and not speak to the world, I just wanted to talk to everybody and be seen and help. Okay? Together, we can heal the world one person at a time. Just on this site, just on Connecting to Spirit with Stacy's Facebook group, not the page, not the website, not the emails, just on this group, we've got over 6,000 people. Okay? If 1% of my group members hear this message and think, how can I help? That's 60 people. And I do this once a week. So times 52 people, that's over 3,000 people. And if each of you guys talk about this thing that I'm speaking about, you practice these 10 things, that's over 10,000 people that we can, a year, that we can collectively touch, plant a seed, help heal a wound, let them know that they are loved and that they matter. I know it's not the world, but it's a start. It's a big start. And I can't do it alone. So I'm calling my team of healers. And whether you know you're a healer or not, you are a healer. Your words, your love, your actions heal other people without you even knowing it. I've done this for 4 years. This Tuesday Talks at 10:30. It's 40,000 people if you look at the statistics. Following the 10 steps will heal more people without even knowing it. Hope, love, and promise. God's rainbow says it's going to be all right. Who agrees? Who says, yes, let's get in together and do this? I told you I was on a roll, a little soapbox. Okay? Let's agree to saturate your circle of influence. Who's your circle of influence? The people you talk to that you're around. Your coworkers, your family and friends, people you meet on the street. I didn't see one person say that they agree, that they were with me. Tell me you're with me. So, forgive often, love always, make a difference. Looking for a sign? Here it is. Here's a quote. Life is too short to be anything but happy. So kiss slowly, love deeply, and forgive quickly. Take chances. Give everything you have. No regrets. And forget the bad past. Just remember what it taught you. And I would like to add to that and then pass it on to others and share it. Okay. Heal one person at a time and see how the world around you changes. Get out of the way of Creator. If you feel drawn to do something, ask, how do I do this? Put people in my path. Show me what I need to do. Trust, hope, happiness. A promise from Creator that everything is going to be okay. If you can heal someone, do it. If you need help, ask. We're here for you. We love you. We respect you. And we want to help you. I am so grateful, so thankful for each and every one of you who tunes in and watches Tuesday Talk at 10:30. I mean, it fills my heart. I don't care if there's 2 people on. I don't care if there's 2,000 people on. I need to touch one person at a time, or 2 people at a time, so that they can help touch others and move on. And this thankfulness that I have for you, I hope that you see it and feel it in my expressions, in my words, in my body language, and in the way I am on a daily basis. I'm not a different person, or I try not to be a different person on Tuesday Talks at 10:30 than I am if you see me out and about. Because my message to you is, even if I don't know you, you are a child of Creator. And I love you. And I appreciate you. And it's going to be okay. Have hope. Have love. Look for a way. All right, guys. Evidential Medium, Stacy Niedenthal. Tuesday Talks at 10:30. If you feel drawn to share this with someone, share it. Invite them to the group. But join hands with me and help heal. All right? I will see you next Tuesday at 10:30. If there is a particular subject you would like me to speak about, put it in the comments, private message me, email me, and I'll see what I can do. Join me in some of the events. If you want to be immersed in healing, join us at the Women's Retreat in October. October 17th through the 19th. There's still time. We would love for you to join us. We would love for you to heal, and we would love to hear your wisdom of your healing to help heal us. All right, guys. I pray that you all are living the life you love and loving the life you live. If not, baby, you're the only one that can change it. Peace out. I love you much, and I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye.